WASSCE has started, and we're wishing our students well, our brothers and sisters well. Mr. John Kapi will join us shortly. He is head of management department of WAEC, and also Lawrence Dogbache is also the acting controller, arts business subjects department of WAEC. He will tell us what that even holds, what that all is about. It's a mouthful office. But for now, let's take a breather. When we come back, I'll introduce a guest to you. All right, you're welcome back. Now, I have Mr. Kapi already with me. John Kapi. I used to call him Mr. Kapi. If I tell you the strokes I've received from this man, it shocked me, when I saw him on the platform this afternoon. All nostalgic. Mr. Kapi, you're welcome. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for bringing the value in me. It was performed rightly. Thank you as well. So Lawrence Dogbacha is also with me, and he is also the assistant controller, arts business subject department, WAEC. What was that department all about?
Yes, the department comprising art, that's visual art, home economics, and the business subjects.
Oh, okay.
That's the department. So I'm the acting controller there.
Okay. You're welcome once again. Let's get into the issue of the exam. So the exam has started. How did it start? Has it started on a smooth, takeoff?
Thank you. Good afternoon to your viewers. We conduct exams by setting up items. And the items, we have category of examiners who set the items for us, and that list is prepared and approved by a committee. So it's not anyone who just get up and then set up questions for us. And these setters who have been approved are being selected by the subject officers, because we have subject officers responsible for particular subject. So when the item writers bring the items, the subject officers scrutinize the item, edit, and prepare it for try testing. And we try test these items in schools that are ready to write the final year exams of WAEC. And we try test only the objective questions. So after the try test, we now bring it to our computer department, where they mark and give us the item analysis to see the difficulty levels of the questions. And these items are sent to a moderating table, where we have the experts to moderate the questions. So that means we look at the questions must be solvable and must be within the syllabus, because the setters who write the item, we give them the syllabus and then the difficulty levels, that the taxonomy, and items must be set to merit those levels. So at the moderating table, we go through the items, take all the ambiguities out of the item, look at the analysis. If the items meet the standard, then we now accept it as an item for the subject and we keep it in the bank. And the subject officers now select these items according to what we have. Some people call it blueprint. That's the specification table, because your paper must go by some thinking levels. We normally call it knowledge application, comprehension application, analysis. So they select the questions up in the respect of the specification table. So after finishing, they now send it to our security printing department, which the subject officer themselves do the typesetting. They type it and do the proofreading. After the proofreading, they fair it for printing. Then it is now being printed for exams to take place. So that's the procedure we go through when we want to develop.
I'm just listening to the procedure and I'm thinking,
Yes.
how does it leak? Mr.
Leakage.
Kapi.
Well, talk about leakage. It's quite a difficult area to go to because it's been something that we've been trying to grapple with for a long time. We've done some We've carried out some investigations. We've been to some places. We've made some arrests. But whoever you pick up is never ready to tell you their source. So this has become, I would call it an albatross around our neck because it is not to say that we are not in control of affairs. We investigate every little thing that we find wrong with our examinations, but just that we've not been able to pick up anybody who has pointed to a source where the leakage is coming from. But then, in the course of conducting the examination, we've come across situations where there are snapshots taken by invigilators or supervisors. There are other students who also smuggle phones into the examination hall. They take pictures of the question papers, send them out to be solved, and brought in for the candidates to, for their colleagues to answer, of course, in the classroom. That is, it's quite a syndicate. It's a big one, but we are working around it. Yeah.
Right. So let's get into, when the exam, we said we're going to write WASSCE, then we're told that Ghana was the only member country writing in August. How is that?
Yeah, that's true. For this year, 2022, Ghana is going solo. It is because, initially the COVID situation, truncated the academic calendar. And then also in Ghana, we had this double track system. And so at the time that by our calendar, we're supposed to start the examinations, our people were now starting their third term. So if we were to conduct the exam around that time, you would find that students probably will have to go into examination hall after just 3 weeks into the final term of their final year. And so we had to, in collaboration with the Ghana Education Service and the ministry, schedule the exams for August and September 2022.
Is that disruptive?
It's not disruptive because, as my colleague said, when we go to a moderating table, it's not just about Ghanaians or Nigerians or Australians. It's all the 5 member countries who meet to moderate these items. And so the difficulty level is the same. The domains to be tested are the same. And so if I have items in my item bank and I'm going to conduct an examination, if I even have 5 different batches, I can conduct 5 different examinations with the same difficulty level, testing all the domains that are supposed to be tested. So there's really no alarm about this.
I see. I don't know how the council was ready for this change in the timetable, especially for the Ghanaian.
I think we are ready simply because the items are ready. We have items in the bank, and they all have the same difficulty level, so they measure the same standard.
Okay, when you say items in the bank,
Yeah.
break it down. What items do you have in what bank?
Now, questions for various subjects, and where they are kept, we
Right.
call it the bank.
Yeah.
Right. So, because of the differences in time, we are ready to work within the Ghana time so that at the end of it, Ghanaians will be satisfied by taking the exams, but it does not compromise the exam.
It's safe for the council to say, well, we have items already in the bank, so we're fine. How about the students?
The student, that's the calendar we have found ourselves in Ghana, because it's not the fault of the student or the authorities. It's the COVID that came in, and the calendar had a problem. We have to adjust the system. So that's how Ghana has found itself. That's why we didn't join the member countries.
But I don't know. How did the member countries have their time? Or they also had some changes?
They have a calendar from the various Ministry of Education.
Yeah.
So they decided they want to do it in May, June.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I'm saying that. So in the coming of COVID,
Yeah.
they didn't get disruptive.
You know, we have a peculiar situation because we're running a double track system
Okay.
in Ghana. that is not a wide situation per se. That is with the Ghana Education Service.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
in running the double track system, the students had not, had enough contact hours to be ready for the examination. That's the reason Ghana has had to move their examinations to August and September. Now, as I said earlier, the items we moderate are not done just by Ghanaians. We do it together with the other member countries. And so whatever I have in my item bank, I can conduct same in Nigeria or Sierra Leone or the
Yeah.
Gambia.
Yeah.
So it's not disruptive. Besides,
Except for different timing.
for different
The
timing,
different
yes.
timing, yeah.
Besides, it is not only Ghanaian experts who are working on these things. Even when exams are finished, we'll still have members from all other countries coming together to do what we call the finalization of the marking schemes and then the grading system as well. So we get everybody involved. We didn't write with the other countries, but we are part of the process of, grading, which is going to take place in the next.
We are starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow is starting tomorrow.
You're starting grading tomorrow?
Yeah.
How's it going?
They have finished their marking, so we've got to the stage where we are going to have the grading.
Like my colleague said, for the WASSCE, we fix standard. We use the statistics, and then we fix the grade. So the member countries, because we are involved, they will bring the statistics to us. They started even bringing the statistics. So tomorrow, with the subject experts, they will join us. That's the chief examiners.
Yeah.
Then we now fix the standard and then fix the grade, where the A1 must start from. It's not automatic. You go to the school, they say 80 to 100 is
It's
A1. 44 to this is this grade. Ours is not static. It's criterion reference. So we use the statistics to calculate the standard, then we fix the grade. So that's what we'll be starting tomorrow for the member countries. When it's time for Ghana, they'll also join us again to fix the grade.
So these statistics are equal across board for all member countries.
Yes.
So how's this? I maybe if a student is watching, so the student will understand that. Don't think that maybe you are assuming to have gotten 80%, so you expect to get some A1 or some A or something. How does this statistics apply?
We look at the cumulative percentages
Okay.
for the various subjects. Then there's a formula.
Okay.
We do the 70% in addition to the continuous assessment.
Okay.
When all brought together, then we now find the grading point. Then after finding the critical points, we now do the ranges. That's from the lowest to the highest. That's from 0 to 100. So we will now have the grading point. That's the boundaries. So when we calculate, you can say, 60 to 100 is going to take A1. 65 to 69 is taking B2. But it depends on the statistics from the various countries. But the grade, that's the mark, goes around every country. We will not have 70 for Ghana, 65 for Nigeria or Liberia. If it's 65, across board, because that's the calculation we've done with the statistics. One, because the items are having the same difficult level. So you cannot lower the grade in any country because the items are having the same difficult levels. So they are all apart. That's what we do. And we'll start tomorrow and end on Friday.
Yes. I'm feeling like a student right now. I don't know, Mr. Kapi, how does this
we need to school you.
How does it answer the complaints that's come from some schools or students, of unfair marking?
I'll let
scheme?
my colleague respond to that before I come in.
Right.
Unfair marking is a non-starter because it's the same procedure that is used. I said earlier that there's a team that does the moderating of the questions. A team also sits down to finalize the marking scheme. And when we finalize the marking scheme, now what we do is that we would not say, for example, the scripts of candidates of Accra would be marked in Accra. We don't do that. Neither do we say scripts of private schools are going to be marked by a team at Labone Secondary School. it is by region. And even with the regions, we don't differentiate between a private school and a public school. Everything is put together, and then we send them out.
You don't
know?
differentiate.
We don't differentiate.
But you know the private schools and the
You
public
should be
schools.
able to identify a private school. But we've put in place certain mechanisms that will make, say, if Lawrence is marking the scripts, he cannot tell that these scripts are from Anglican Basic JHS or they are from something international basic school. The reason being that if Lawrence is able to identify the school and he thinks that he should do something, he may do something about it, all right?
Yeah.
So we have a uniform platform for marking all our scripts. There is no room for private schools. There's no room for public schools. No. Everybody's on the same platform. And as I said earlier, we redistribute the scripts across the country so that candidates of Greater Accra will not have examiners in Greater Accra marking their scripts. Neither will Ashanti region have examiners in Ashanti region marking scripts of candidates from the Ashanti region. So the private schools really may have to come again.
Yes.
You may want to, what you add,
Yeah.
then you can, address the issue of remarking the processes involved if someone says that I don't accept my results and I want to call for remarking.
Yes. Yes, remarking is part of the game. If you feel you're not comfortable with your grade, you have to apply, but it goes with a fee. When you apply, the scripts are then given to a panel that the chief examiners are selected to go through the scripts again
Yeah.
and remark with the marking scheme. And then if we have a problem with your grade, it's changed. If there's no problem, we carry it across. So a remarking is accepted. Right.
Okay, so just a quick one before we wrap up. The SHS, the free SHS system, did it add or subtract to? Yeah, we've been seeing the results. I think the previous results were good, but did it add or subtract to the quality of education? We've been giving to the SHS or at the SHS level.
Thank you. For WASSCE standard, we cannot say it's added or subtracted because our items are of a standard because they have a syllabus. There's a curriculum, a syllabus, and that's what we follow. So when we want to commission the setters to set question, we give them the syllabus. And we don't lower our standard. The standard by the curriculum, the syllabus, that's what we follow. Because in every curriculum or syllabus, they tell us how the item is to be assessed. So the steps that they gave us in the assessment, that's what we follow to set up the questions.
So that there cannot be any means of any authority trying to, I don't know, come into the system
It will
and
never happen.
request for either
A favor.
an upgrade or a downgrade.
Thank you. We've been seeing that on the social media.
Right.
That apply for, bring so and so for upgrade of a grade. It doesn't happen. And there's no way anybody can come and interfere with the grade. Like I started telling you about the fixing of the grade, it's not only Ghana alone that will fix the grade. All 5 member countries come together. After fixing the grade, the line is drawn, is 70 to 100. And the grading sheet, which is used to grade every student in all the 5 member countries, signatures are appended up to the registrar. Registrar will automatically question, why should Ghana grade be lower than Nigeria grade?
Okay.
How do we explain that? Are we going to tell him that somebody came to line the packet or came to appeal to us that we should lower the grade? You have a question to answer because if it's 65 to 100 across board to all the 5 countries, so Ghana can never have a lower grade of assessment. It's a par. So if you have 65, that's your standard. So we cannot say free SHS is adding to or subtracting. We have our standard to follow, and that's what we follow strictly. So when the student perform, so be it. If they don't perform, so be it. That's how it works in WAEC.
What would you, we're wrapping up. What are we to expect going forward? You say you're going to start the grading from tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the
Yes,
grading from tomorrow is meant for the member countries who are finished with their WASSCE.
Yeah.
But with Ghana, we've just started. We started with the practical
Visual arts.
visual arts practical examinations. That is what is being done right now. The main papers will start somewhere around the 19th of August, and so we've put in place a number of measures. We fortified our examination depots. We are engaging also
How do you do the fortification?
we have certain specifications. For example, we've had situations where when the roof is not too strong, you can have problems. So we fortify the roof. You can have a burglar-proof that is done, or they seal it off with concrete.
Okay.
Okay, so then you have nobody being able to get into the place unless the main doors are open. We also have 24-hour security by the police. This time around, we are also engaging the National Investigations Bureau. We are engaging national security. All these people have roles to play across the country during the conduct of the examination. So everybody must watch out.
At what extent is the NIB coming in?
Well, they have their own, we've written to them, okay? Or in fact, this is not even the first time. We've done that in collaboration with them in the years past. We write to them, exams are going to be conducted from this date to that date, and so we need you to intensify your patrols or your monitoring activities across the country. And in the course of writing the exam, you go to some part of the country, and then you have somebody come to you and say, I am so and so from so and so institution. And there are also times when they send us reports of some, flashpoints across the country that we follow up and then see what we can do to kind of bring the situation under control.
Right.
Yes.
Your last words.
Yes, I have two issues to talk about to let the candidates know. Now that the other member countries have written their exams, people will be flashing their question papers around because the papers will be bearing 2022.
Oh, that's a critical
Yes,
point.
it will be bearing 2022 year on the question paper. And if people see those questions, quickly they should investigate or they should come to WAEC. Let us know, because they will be propagating the gospel, telling them that it's Apo that it has leaked.
Okay.
The paper has leaked. Meanwhile, it could be Nigerian paper, Sierra Leonean paper that they have put onto the social media, creating that panic that the question paper has leaked.
Yeah.
So students should not take those things into consideration. They should concentrate on their exams, learn and write their paper.
There's one thing I've never known. Have we always had the same questions?
Not same in
Not
terms
same.
of word for word.
Not for, yeah.
Yeah, there have been times when we've had that in the past, but in recent times we've tried to, shy away from some of those things for very obvious reasons. Yeah.
Then in addition, visual art, they are doing the practicals now. The question paper was given to them on the 18th, 2 weeks to start, to study before they write their paper. They commence the actual work on the 1st August. Likewise, home economics, general knowledge in art, the question papers will be given to them 2 weeks to the time. So when these questions are given to students to practice, people should stop making allegation that the paper has leaked. Those papers are given to students to study before the actual day for the execution. Because if you go to the syllabus, it's stated clearly there. Papers should be given to students 2 weeks to the time to study before they write the exam. So it's a requirement of the exam.
Okay.
So when you see papers like that, you need to approach WAEC. investigate, to know the truth.
Mr. Kapi, did you give us papers 2 weeks before there?
Well, this is mainly for the visual art.
Visual
articles.
art, and then the
Visual art,
GKE.
home economics,
Yes.
yeah.
Then
Those
the
are ones.
practical subjects.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they are given the question papers fortnight before they write the exam. And if you are not aware, now you are also not aware. If you are saying it, you have been shouting that the paper has leaked.
I wouldn't shout. I wouldn't.
Yes. So that's how the whole system is. So
Right.
if you see something which you are not aware of, you need to seek clarification
Okay.
so that everything, the system will
I
go
have
well.
quite a number of messages, but let me pick about 2 of them. This one says, is it true that the MCQ are the same for all candidates, but with different numbers? I.e., the MCQ in, say, biology is the same across board, but with different numbering. Example, question 2 on my paper, maybe question 5 on yours.
Well, I would say that this is a trade secret of WASSCE. We don't have to
Right.
tell the whole world. Just prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Read your notes, go to examination hall, look at the question on your question paper, and answer it as best as you can, and leave the rest to us.
Okay, this one says the schools are reshuffled across the country, north to south. Is that true?
Reshuffled.
I don't even understand what that means, but
Is it talking about serialization? Where the questions are mixed
No,
up?
no. That was the first question. I
There's a
answered.
reshuffle.
No, probably they're thinking about we are moving schools from northern region to upper east or that kind. No, we're
Yeah.
not going to do it. We don't have the power to the capacity.
I think that's what
to
the
do
person
that.
meant. Yeah, the
No.
schools are reshuffled.
No,
Right,
we don't
across
have the
the country.
capacity to do that.
You
Listen,
see, the reshuffle, what the candidate may like to talk about is when a school is not given the accreditation to write an exam, they give you a number, you write in another school.
Another
you join
school,
the school.
which I remember even my time.
Yeah,
with
so
with
it's not a reshuffling.
Yeah,
We ask you to join a school,
school.
to write.
it's a center.
It's a center.
Right.
So that's what we do.
The headquarters does the item writing with all participating countries.
Yes.
Is that a question or is it a statement? The headquarters does the item writing with all participating countries.
well, item writing, he's getting the terminologies wrong.
Yes.
Item writing basically, as he started to, in his submission, said, right, we have people that we commissioned to write items for us. These are persons that are approved by the council, and they are the ones we call item writers. And it's the moderating meetings that are held, across all the member countries. Every country has a representation on the panel that does the moderating of the questions.
Right. So I want to say thank you to my favorite senior high school teacher, Mr. Kapi. That's how we affectionately called him, Mr. John Kapi, but we'll call him Mr. Kapi. I'm so grateful, and it's so nice to see you again. I'm sure I'll make time for you one of these days. Lawrence Dogbacha is also the acting controller, arts business subjects department at WAIC. Mr. Kapi is head office management department, also at WAIC. I thank you, gentlemen, for making time with me.